One of the main questions I get from people is, where did I get my resupply and what did I choose for my resupply? So I decided to make a video all about resupplying on the Appalachian Trail and the technique I used that worked for me very well. Your typical resupply on the Appalachian Trail, I would say it's between, say, 2 and 4 days, maybe. Very rarely 5 days. Even in the 100-mile wilderness, you're able to get resupply dropped off to you if you plan ahead. So I never had to carry more than 5 days food. Normally it was, I would say, between 2 and 4 days at the most. So typically what you want to do is when you're getting ready to go into town, next day or so, start thinking about how many days resupply you're going to need. Normally I would just use gut hooks and it would tell you like where the towns were and best place to get resupplies. So once you decide how many days of food you're going to need, then you need to decide how many of each item that you're going to need for those days. So I'm going to make a spreadsheet, but I've got it written down on paper now. I'll go over that shortly. How I kept up with how many dinners, lunch, breakfast, snacks I needed for the days I was going to be out in between towns. So let's go over that. Okay, here's a form I came up with. Basically, you have your columns for you have days for your columns here. You have day 1 through 5. And then your rows, you'll have your breakfast, snacks, lunch, snacks, dinner, and then after dinner snack. That's typically what I eat. How many meals. So the way I use this, so let's say you're starting out of town and you have breakfast before you leave. So your first day, you're not going to need a breakfast. And a lot of times I would get like a sandwich from a grocery store and bring for lunch and a soft drink. So typically my first day out, I wouldn't even need a lunch. So let's just say day 1, we're going to need, let's see, a snack 1, snack 2. And I don't need a lunch. And then a snack 3 and a snack 4. And then I'll need a dinner and then an after dinner snack. All right. So now on day 2, I'm going to need a breakfast, snacks, lunch, snacks. Don't need everything on day 2. All right, so now on day 3, I'm going to be getting into town. So I have my breakfast, snacks, lunch, and probably these 2 snacks. Then I won't need a dinner for those. All right, so what you do then, you go over and nap your breakfast. So I'm going to need, on my resupply, I'm going to need 2 breakfast. And on this roll, I'll need 3 snacks, and I'll need 2 lunches. There's 3 snacks, 3. I'll need 2 dinners, and then 2 more snacks. All right. Then on the bottom here, I'll just add up my breakfast. So I'll have 2 breakfasts, lunches, I'm going to have 2 of those, and dinner, I'm going to have 2 of those, and then snacks. So you're going to have, there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 snacks. So you have 14 snacks. So this is everything you're going to need for this resupply here. So when you go to the store or wherever, you're going to need 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, 2 dinner, and 14 snacks. Okay, we've determined what we're going to need for this 3-day trip before we have to get another resupply. So before you go out and buy all your food, first thing I do is I check my food bag. So see if you got any of these things left over. Normally you'll have something left over. So check your food bag, and then most places, if you're staying at a hostel or Outfitters, if you stop by there, or even some hotels have a hiker box. So go through the hiker box and see if you can find anything to go towards your resupply. Because I've got my full resupply probably at least 3 times out of hiker boxes. And also hikers, sometimes they get in resupply boxes for like 7 days of food, and they only need like 3 days. So they're trying to just give the stuff away. So a lot of times you can get stuff from other hikers, you can get out of the hiker box, you may have things left over. So check all those resources before you go to the store, because you may end up buying things you don't need. Because you don't want to carry more food you're going to need to the next resupply. You don't want to get to town and have several days food left. There's no need in that. When I first started out on the trail, I was on keto, before I left and got on trail. So I was trying to eat healthy to start with, and watch my sugar, and I was just burning so many calories. My Garmin watch said I was burning like 5,500 calories a day. So it was hard to get enough calories. And I still lost like 30 pounds on the trail. And it's just hard to get enough calories. And you can pretty much eat anything you want. Basically just want calories. When you get into town, you can get your fresh food, your vegetables, salad, meat, whatever. Normally resupply is just to get you through to your next town, and then you can just eat as much as you care to, and whatever foods you care to, because you don't have to carry them. So I'm going to lay out what I typically got towards the end of my trip for each day. So I'm not going to have the whole 3-day resupply. I'm just going to have like typical items I got in each category. And it really worked for me well. I usually have plenty of food, so I think my system I have will work really well for most people. So I'm going to go lay all the food out and go over everything. And these items you can normally get at a gas station. You can get them at gift shops. You can get them grocery stores, Dollar Generals, just about anywhere. It's just common items like pretty much junk food. Walmart's a good place, and Dollar General are really good resupply places. Any grocery stores, but multiple times I resupplied at like gas stations, and a lot of the gas stations along the trail, they have hiker items. They know hikers will be coming through there, so they got Spam, and they got ramen, tortillas, peanut butter, all the hiker staples they would normally keep, So let me lay all this out and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, I got all my food laid out here. Typical items I would get, not always the same, but pretty close. A lot of them are my favorites. Alright guys, let's start with breakfast. My typical breakfast, I only cook one meal a day, and that was dinner. Because I was normally on trail before daylight. So I just want to get on trail. So these are good here, these leany protein cookies. Good and filling. If I couldn't find these, I'd get something like a builder's bar. Some kind of high calorie protein bar. So that was normally my breakfast. And then my snacks would be, these were good here. Made by Cliff Bar. Everybody's favorite. Another kind of Cliff Bar. Sharing size M&Ms. Some kind of crackers. And then for lunch, I would normally just snack on Doritos and some jerky. And then for dinner, I would normally, if I didn't have a mountain house, I would take a ramen, some chicken, and I don't make a separate video on how I made this, but peanut butter, peanuts, and then had some cayenne pepper. And this is the salt I use. This is the best salt here. It's from Utah. It's better than Himalayan salt or sea salt. And I would normally keep some in here and some pepper. And then I would keep my cayenne pepper in here. I like my food a little spicy. So I normally had that for dinner. And then after dinner, this would last me about 3 days or so. Just a bag of Oreo cookies, little mini Oreos, or some other kind of cookie. So, like I said, I only got my stove out once a day, and that was for my dinner meal. And anyway, that's the typical food I would get. So you just, this would be typically for, say, one day right here. And then part of this for the day. And also I use electrolytes in my water. I normally use Propel or the Gatorade powders or the Mio or whatever I can find really that had electrolytes in it. And this gave me plenty of energy to keep going. And remember, you only need enough food to get to your next town. Hope that helped. I know when I first started, resupply was like my main concern. Like, it was kind of like an unknown how to have enough food in between towns. So it'd take 2 or 3 resupplies and you'll get the hang of it. So this is just the way I did it. Maybe it'll work for you. If you have special diet needs, you know, you may need to have you know, different items or whatever, but I don't have any special needs really, so I can pretty much eat anything. Alright guys, well, my next video I'm going to make will be on how I prepared my dinner, my favorite dinner on trail. And it's kind of like, I call it pad thai sort of, but it's just common items and it's really high in calories and it was a good hot meal. So I will check back with you guys on the next video. Have a good day.